Okay, today in Algebra 1 we learned about interest, commission, and tip and sales tax. The first tab is interest. The formula for interest is I equals PRT, where P stands for principal, R stands for rate, T stands for time, and I stands for interest. When you're talking about time, time must be in years. If it's not, so for example, if it was 3 months, then you have to put it over 12. So it'd be 3 over 12 because there's 12 months in a year. That's the way that you would fix that if it wasn't already in years. Okay, we're going to look at some examples of this. When we're talking about interest, we're talking about like money you make off of money. So if I take some money to the bank and I give it to them and I let them borrow it, then they're going to pay me money back, the money I invested, plus a little bit of interest or a little bit of extra money. If I borrow money from the bank, I'm going to borrow that money, and then when I pay it back, I have to pay them a little bit extra. The bank takes some off the top of that, and then they pay back the person who loaned the money. Okay, some examples. Number 1. What is the interest paid for 3 years on a $2,500 loan at 11.5% per year? So we want to figure out the interest. To do that, we're going to multiply the principal, so the amount we invested, or the amount we borrowed, which was $2,500, times the rate. You have to make the rate a decimal, so move it over 2 places, 0.115, times the time, which is 3. And remember, if it's in years, we're good to go. Then put that into your calculator, and you should get the interest, which is $865.50. And actually, I'm sorry, that's $862.50. And that's our final answer for the amount of money that we have in interest. For number 2, let's find the simple interest. Find the simple interest earned after 8 months on a $1,200 investment at 6%. So we're going to use that same formula. I equals P, which is 1,200, times the rate, as a decimal is 0.06, times the time, which is 8 months. And remember, if it's months, we do it over 12. If we put all of that into our calculator, we're going to get that the interest is $48. Let me see if I can clear that up just a little bit. That looks a lot better. Okay, so that's it for interest. The next tab we worked on was commission. Commission is the money paid to a person or company for making a sale. It is a percentage of the sale amount. So we figure out commission depending on the sales. And that would be like someone who sells a car, or someone who sells a house, or clothes. A lot of things that are a sales type job, people earn commission. So they earn a base salary plus their commission, and that will equal their total pay. So total pay equals base salary plus commission. Let's look at some examples of that. Number 1, Sam earns $1,200 per month. That's his base pay. Plus 5% commission on all sales. If he sold $120 worth of merchandise, what is his total pay? Okay, remember total pay is commission plus base pay. We already know his base pay is $1,200 a month, so we need to figure out his commission. To find commission, we're going to do the amount of sales, which was $120, times the percent, We changed to a decimal, 0.05. And 0.05 times 120 is 6. So he made $6 in commission. His total pay then is $1,200 plus 6, which is $1,206. So he didn't sell that much product, or his product wasn't very expensive, but he did make a little bit extra money that month. Number 2, find the commission. At 3.5% earned on $15,500 in sales. So this person sold a little bit more, a higher ticket item. If we multiply that to get the commission, we get 15,500 times the percent, which is 0.035. Move it over 2 places. And the commission for that would be $542.50 total commission. The last tab that we need to talk about today is tip and sales tax. And a tip is the amount of money. Tip is the amount of money added to a bill for service. You tip somebody if they've done a service for you. To estimate that, to find 10%, you move the decimal 1 place to the left. To find 5%, you do the same thing you would for 10% and take half. So take half of 10%. To find 1%, you move the decimal 2 places to the left. And we use that to estimate tip and sales tax. Let's look at some examples of that. The first one, in this category we're going to estimate. In the other category we're going to find the exact amount. To estimate a 15% tip on a $27.88 lunch is what we want to do. So let's go ahead and round how much lunch cost to $28. And let's find 10% of that. Remember, 10% was to move the decimal over 1 place, so that would be $2.80. To find another 5%, we would take half of that, which would be 1.4, and add those together to get $4.20 is my tip. If I wanted to find the exact tip, I would multiply $27.88 times 0.15, and I would get $4.18, which is fairly close to $4.20, so my estimation is pretty good. Let's do one more, and let's estimate tax at 8.25% on a shirt that costs $27.89. Okay, let's start by finding 10%. So if it's about $20 shirt, 10% would be 2.8. Half of that would give me 5%, which would be 1.4. If I wanted to find 1%, I would move it over 2, and that would be about 30 cents. To get 8, I would do 5% plus 3 of these. So let's not worry about this one, and let's do 3 different ones of this. And if we add all of that together, we'll get $2.30 for our 8% tip, 8.5%. If I want to find the exact number, I do $27.89 times 0.0825, and that would be $2.30 exactly. So our estimate came very close to the exact amount. Your homework for this was A6, page 135, 2 and 3, 7 through 10, and 14 through 19. Let me know if you have any questions.